women and property ownership. Lawmaker Akin Alabi tells married women it's okay to buy and own properties in their own name. Akin Alabi, who is a member of the House of Representatives, has advised married women to ensure they also own properties and will same to their children. A Nigerian lady, while reacting to this advice, also advised women to ensure that the certificate of ownership of such properties reads their name only, so as to avoid any unforeseen circumstances. Pastor Jolly.
Well, I think sometimes when people like this come out to say things like this, they didn't just wake up to say something. They are talking from experience.
True.
Either things they have seen with other people, they saw the way things went, and they decided, okay, the best way to handle is like a solution to a problem.
Okay.
The best way to solve this problem is for us to handle it this way. I don't have problem with women owning properties with their husbands. I also don't have problem with women owning their own properties separately, because there has to be agreement. I remember my elder sister, so many years ago, she was not really interested in owning her own personal house. Her husband has a house, they were living in that house. She was making money. The husband specifically helped her to get a land and told her, build your own house. They are both married. They have, you understand, that is in agreement with the man for her to own her own house. You understand? I believe if a woman is working, she's making her money, there's nothing wrong with her owning her own property. If you ask me this maybe few years back, I would have insisted that it has to be the man and the woman together. Yes, but experience too has taught me that there is a need for women to own things for themselves. Because by the time you live for a man and tomorrow he wants to shake his body and just shake you out, and he's leaving you with nothing. So in that sense, it's still for the both of them, because the advice is that will it to your children. Your children should be in the will. The children is owned by both of them. So tactically, it's still in the family. Okay,
but then living in such a patriarchal and ego, where men are so full of ego, that's what I was going to say. Living in a patriarchal society such as Nigeria, where we know Nigerian men have ego, how practical really is this advice?
You see, there's something, I think I was reading something on the internet, and this guy was talking about how Nigerian movies need to change the narrative, especially concerning the response of the police and all of that. And I took my mind back at social engineering. I keep talking about this. All these things that we feel don't matter actually form the mindset and the psyche of people. And this is what gives birth to the response of people to every situation. You're talking about the patriarchal society. Patience, I assure you, the generation of millennials, people in our generation right now, most young men do not have that mindset that my wife has to depend on me for everything. Everything has to be in my name. It's a taboo for my wife to own property. Most people in my generation don't feel that way because we've, experienced a lot coming from our parents and then been exposed to, the global understanding of how things work. There's absolutely nothing wrong in a woman owning a property. As a matter of fact, I remember years back, I think I became a feminist before I knew the meaning of the word. While a first-year student in university, my friend's elder sister mentioned that the man she married served her father in business. And her father set the man up, and the man began to do so well. And so this, my friend's dad advised the daughter's husband to invest in properties, and then they were buying, lots of properties and stuff. And then I asked them, in whose names were those properties bought? And she mentioned in my name and my husband's name. I said, what does the title of the deed say? And he says, Mr. and Mrs. So-so-so. I said, listen, there can be a Mrs. So-so-so tomorrow. Make sure the first names of the people are written, Mr. John and Mrs. Mary, whatever. That's my opinion. Now, talking about, I have advised ladies, because I have a lot of female friends who are doing very well. Getting property is not gender specific. It's something that every human being who is capable and wants to invest in fixed assets should do.
I get that, but some people seem to think it negates what marriage should stand for, where a man and a woman are supposed to become one. Therefore, whatever is coming from the marriage has to be You understand?
I think we need to work
out.
I think what they should do, they should discuss. She should discuss with her husband. Her husband should be in the know. I'm against a woman doing that secretly. Maybe she comes to the man and say, "This, the man knows
Something
she's
is
making
wrong.
the
For a
money."
woman to do that secretly, that tells you something is
Something is wrong, yes.
Yeah, there's something she's avoiding. But the point is, there's absolutely nothing wrong in doing that, and willing to your children or whoever you want to give it to. Who says it has to be your children that will benefit from your will? There's a lot of things you can will your property over to while you empower your children to be all they can be.
Okay.
So I see absolutely nothing wrong in that.
All right.
I've seen a situation where a man is buying properties not even on his name, on the wife's name. The reason being that he has checked his family and he knows that if he's no more here, the whole thing, all of the things he has will be, given to the family. That will be a struggle. So while he's still alive, he decides to buy everything on the wife's name. So by the time he departs, there won't be struggle, there won't be issue. But then, it should be in the right way, like the Bible will say, God did not do it so from the beginning. It should be a thing of joint, name, like he said, Mr. and Mrs. Nkechi Okonkwo this. That's how it should be. On the second run, it's not really a bad idea for a wife or a lady to have, if you have the capacity rather to do that. But then there should always be an agreement and understanding between the both. The reason is that anything can happen at any time, and the husband will be like, is that property you have that is making you behave this way?
Thank you for being so real.
Yeah, so to avoid this, let him know, so that when he begins to talk that way, say, honey, but you are aware. So with or without this property, this is who I am. And it doesn't stop me from, letting you know that this thing you're doing is
Can
wrong.
I ask you a quick question? What about a situation where the woman has the wherewithal to own properties, but the man doesn't?
It doesn't. It shouldn't. That's why I said, because the man, an African man specifically, that ego will always, sprout out. Be like, okay, because you have money, so you want to show me that you have money. But then, that's where the understanding is lacking. What do? You can consult your pastor. You can consult a counselor to speak to him, just for peace to reign. Because if you go ahead to do that, he can also go ahead to make sure, bring fake people, or make sure something happens to that property. A man can go as, especially it has to do with his ego, his personality, because where he's feeling like, okay, I'm not able to do this, so you want to show the world that you have money more than me. So he can actually go any length to make sure he rubbishes that which you're doing. So for my own is do it prayerfully, and then consult people that can speak to him that this is what you probably like to invest in properties, and that he shouldn't deny you that if you have the capacity, or wherewithal to do that.
Okay.
So talk to them, talk to him, and then take it slowly. Don't quickly go. You can put the money somewhere where when his anger comes down, then you can as well go ahead to do that. So it does not bring problems.
That's a bit reductive.
Yeah, but it's because you want
I get you're being a very factual, but the skills, this particular skill is tipped against the woman.
All the time.
Because at the end of the day, every man inherits his wife. But it's not all the time that women inherit their husbands.
That's true.
I recently lost my mom, and my mom had a lot of, physical assets, jewelry, gold, diamonds, all of that. There was absolutely no
question.
There wasn't.
No issues as to who owns. I get that.
And what my
But
father
if it's
actually,
on the other hand,
it was the other way around.
Ha ha ha.
So that's why we say a woman that can buy property, buy in your name. This is my advice. Don't buy in your husband's name. Because whatever happens, should you survive the man, chances are there will be serious tussle for what you own. But if it's the other way around, there will not be an issue. Now, if the children inherit whatever the mother leaves, it's the children.
Good.